I pay for JotForm, yes. I pay because I do web design for my clients, and I did use JotForm in the past to generate a form for them, and do analytics as well for them now. I have to contact them again because there's a lot of things you can do with AI. Now, what you can type when you're inside of that, because you're registered already, you're going to type PEP or PowerPoint, and you should land.
Could you please clarify?
So here is interactive PowerPoint.
Introducing to AI, that's if you said PowerPoint, you should see that on your screen. Yeah. That one. Now, you don't have to do anything with it. If you hit the play button on it,
Why is not coming to mine yet? Sorry, I'm lost. I don't know where we go from after school.
After we fill the details, forms,
How do I get there?
you don't get back to the side. If you need to buy it,
now if you type on it,
where it says anyone can register.
I've done all that.
now it goes straight to the PowerPoint presentations. Okay?
Very good. Yeah, this one? Yeah.
Alright, with these PowerPoint presentations, what's going to happen on the bottom of the screen, you're going to have on the right side a chat. You can click on it, or you can use the microphone. Obviously, in the class environment, it's better if you go on the chat. And so if you see something on the slide and you want to ask me questions, you can. Based on whatever is part of the PowerPoint presentation, you can define what you're looking for. Now, of course, I set up an AI agent, which you can ask further questions if you want to. Alright? Now, what I've done, the engine behind this one here, AI is a tool, we all know that. But what I do with this, I use a combination of ChatGPT, NotebookLM, JotForm, and that's it, and Gamma. You heard of Gamma before? Gamma, gamma.com. Amazing. You want a PowerPoint done in minutes? It's done. I use ChatGPT to generate an outline based on my learner's guide or whatever I want to generate it from. Then I copy the outline, paste it in Gamma, and you generate a beautiful PowerPoint. That PowerPoint is being generated by Gamma. What you're going to see now, Gamma is going to do beautiful PowerPoint, fully customizable, and exported as PowerPoint. But when you bring it into JotForm, JotForm is going to generate your script, your note. When you go into a PowerPoint, you normally shouldn't read what is on the screen. You should read our notes. Now, JotForm does that. It'll generate it for you, and you can edit it if you want to. Alright? Now there's a new tool from Apple, which one is Keynote. And this one here now allows you to generate by AI your note for your PowerPoint. Similar than that. You won't recite it for you, but you will do it. This one we'll see. I think it's pretty cool. And I'll let you watch. It's only a few minutes for that PowerPoint. But this one here, because you scan the QR code, you can have access to that anytime you want.
Welcome to this presentation on the use of artificial intelligence in hospitality training. We will explore how AI can support trainers, improve content delivery, and at the same time maintain the integrity of the course. Our focus is to help trainers.
Alright, I just paused it just to show you how it works. That means now you can either use my voice, so if you're on your own, or the students want to ask questions based on what they see, elaborate anything, click on the microphone and they dictate. The beauty part of it, when they dictate, it goes to the chat automatically. And now if you're in class, because they're usually shy to ask questions, or they don't want to interrupt, now they can actually type their questions inside and get an answer right away. A word they don't understand, anything like that. Alright, I'll show you.
And it will answer all
he will answer it. And it's pretty interesting how fast it goes as well. Obviously, that depends on the internet.
Now, why are we talking about AI? The conversation is already happening in classrooms, at work, and even in boardroom meetings. Students are already using these tools for written tasks and research, even while trainers are still adapting. In addition, the hospitality sector is evolving rapidly, adopting digital systems for operations and management. Therefore, training must keep pace with this change to keep trainers confident and in control. AI is a tool to enhance professional judgment, not to replace it. But after all, what is AI? Think of it as a fast and highly informed system that generates text based on patterns it has learned. It helps create drafts, explain ideas, summarize content, and provide examples. However, it is not an assessor, it cannot judge competency, and its outputs must always be reviewed. It also does not replace industry standards, which remain our responsibility. The key is to use AI as a support tool that still requires professional oversight to ensure quality. What are the benefits of AI for hospitality trainers? It saves time and preparation, allowing the focus to remain on what truly matters, coaching and connection with learners. It can help plan lessons quickly, simplify complex concepts for different learner profiles, create realistic simulations for role plays, and generate questions for discussion and reflection. This makes the process more efficient and the learning experience more engaging. Let's look at how AI can improve lesson planning and practice. With a single prompt, it can create a structured session outline, including timing for each activity. It can also help design icebreakers, realistic industry scenarios, and questions for group discussions. For example, you can ask it to create a 30-minute activity on how to handle customer complaints in a cafe, and AI will provide a solid starting point for you to adapt. One of AI's greatest strengths is generating dynamic role plays with endless variations. This means you never have to repeat the same scenario unless you choose to. It can create customer complaint situations with different tones and levels of difficulty, kitchen conflicts that explore communication and pressure, and even scenarios related to health, safety, and cultural diversity. This variety keeps training current, relevant, and closely connected to the learner's real-world experience. AI can also assist with monitoring assessments. It acts as an initial review, identifying where written responses need improvement before the final evaluation. It can check clarity, structure, and whether answers are specific or too generic. In addition, it helps generate oral questions to confirm that the learner has genuinely understood. However, it is essential to remember, the final decision about competency always rests with the trainer. AI supports, it does not decide. Regarding academic integrity, using AI does not automatically mean plagiarism. The important question is how we respond to it. Trainers can ask learners to explain their answers using real workplace examples, use oral questions to ensure authentic understanding, and encourage responsible and transparent use of AI as a professional skill. This approach turns AI into a learning opportunity, promoting open dialogue and professional responsibility rather than punishment. To use AI responsibly, it is essential to establish clear boundaries. AI should support the planning and delivery of training, help create resources and activities, and improve engagement and clarity for learners. On the other hand, it must not replace direct observation of performance, create false evidence, or approve competencies. The trainer's professional judgment remains at the center of the process. AI is an assistant. You are the professional. Now, your AI toolkit starts here. No need to change everything all at once. Start small, build confidence, and you'll begin to see the benefits emerge. You can ask it to create a lesson plan, generate a role play, develop quiz questions, or simplify complex instructions for learners. AI supports your experience, knowledge and standards, and professional judgment, but it never replaces them. Let's move forward together on this journey of learning and innovation.
It's been now based on this one here. You can ask any question during the presentation, after the presentation, basically whenever you want. And for students, that can be interesting of doing something down on that line, or you can control that part on however you want to control it. But again, I think it's quite interesting to be able to do something down like that. Is any one of you guys are using ChatGPT AI in any form? Yeah? How do you using it so far?
I use it to create extra work in the classroom. Fill gap fillers, I use it for role plays, I use it for creating extra class activities, everything. Yeah.
Fantastic. Anybody else? You said you use it?
Yeah, well, just the example there was how to handle a customer complaint. We're doing staff performance, and we're doing appraisals, and we're using questioning techniques, so we're put in to do a scenario on using questioning techniques when doing a performance appraisal.
Of course, yeah.
Students use it as well.
Sorry?
Students use it as well.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So you can see it's coming from
Which platform do you using? ChatGPT? Which one you are using?
ChatGPT, or sometimes just on Google AI, if I need something quite quickly, I'll just go in and just type something in to get it something. But ChatGPT, I upload documents on ChatGPT to ask them to create PowerPoints and things like that as well.
Very good. Yeah, because I've got the same sort of thing personally. I've got a lot of my units. I delivering that for an MGT for Le Culinaire as an example. What I usually do is to, like you said, what you can do is to upload your file to the source part, and by doing so, now you can chat strictly with that. Another things I've been doing, which I find interesting, is when the material is uploaded, I simply ask, I'd like you to generate a strong prompt for ChatGPT 5.2 to be able to support, help my students, guide me, whatever you want the AI to be, you asking in plain words. Now it's generating basically a prompt for it. And when the prompt is done, then I go into the sections there and I edit my instructions, then I'll put it in there. This means when that two things is done, then I start asking questions, whatever I want. Usually I like to generate my PowerPoint presentations. This means when I have the PowerPoint presentation here, he was able to, this one is something I was playing with and it just did generate. I don't know, that's the PowerPoint from the college actually, yeah. And then now when I'm chatting with it, I can basically ask whatever I want. A few things has been done on that one here. A lesson plan, a session plan, like you said, role plays of any types. This means the beauty part is if you upload everything, if you upload everything, you can start working directly with the assessment is already there, or any activity you already have. And you can basically build something around that. For example, a unit I've been delivered in relation to customer service. We needed to generate a role play. And what I've been trying to do with students is actually using this section here. I don't know if you heard of that before. I'll show you how it works. Going with that, but as an example, this one is the things I've been trying to test it, have a look how it works in the classroom environments by when you do role plays to have them a little bit more motivations and perhaps try the platform where it's not only going to have a negotiations you do, but you can also take minutes out of it. You can talk about action you can take in relations to a negotiation you made. There's been all a follow-up afterwards, and you can see the benefit of actually using an assistant or using a consultant or using any way you wanted to set it up to start with, and you can basically get this one done, which I find also very interesting.
Sorry, Mark, can I ask you a question? I know you're using ChatGPT. Is that the free one or is that the one that you're paying?
I pay for it. Yeah, I pay for it. Yeah, I pay for quite a bit of those things.
That's right.
I find it today. I mean, I'm very tech savvy, and I've always been like this. And I'm just curious to see. I'll just try to see the horizon in our industry or how we can bring it in.
Yes.
For example, James, we talked about doing a PD about a session plan. That means, or you have another chef, I spoke about it, he talks about how to do the mise en place, all the things before we start going in a kitchen, how to put all the things together. And my curiosity is to take one of your best work, put it inside of AI as an example, organize it well, put all the documentation necessary, and now you could basically have something you teach today as an example, and you said, look, I like you to put a good workflow for the team involved, 1, 2, or 3 person, and this is what we need to do, and break it down for me, because I think we are in some form very lucky in teaching because we can test it with our scenarios, which are based on real businesses. Have a look if it's actually possible and how good AI could be in an organizations. I give you an example in a unit where we talk about dietary. I said, can you imagine? I said to my student, take your phone and call a restaurant of your choice, make a booking tonight for around 10 people. And you just said to them, I have one is a nut allergy, another one is a dairy product allergy, and so on and so forth. Can you please tell me what is available on your new menu based on that? All my students is there. And I said to them, if you test it, and you tested that in the middle of the lunch when you know they're busy, and you'll see, first of all, they don't answer your call. If they answer, it will be an answering machine to push you to actually give your number, and you call later. But I said to them, can you imagine now, you can actually take the call, take the details of the customer, and say, I'll get back to you very shortly. You go into ChatGPT, which when you already set it up with your menu, your recipes, your organizations. And now you're going in there and you actually put exactly what the customer wants and generate an email with a menu attached to it with what they can have and what they can't have. I'm not saying hallelujah, but if I have 90% of the job done and I just have to go to the chef to confirm, and he said, yeah, no, not this one here, it's the sauce is already made and you've got nuts inside, and that's it. I mean, can you imagine the time you save? I mean, that's why I find interesting if we implement, like some of you already do, AI in some of the things you do, to see how powerful it is to use in businesses. What I recently found out, any one of you heard of Notebook LM from Google? Notebook LM. All right, this one is amazing. I've been playing quite a bit with it, and now you can see on the screen, this is based on what we're doing today. I've got all the information. When I started it, I just said what I want to do. In our case, we put your material inside. Your assessments, your quiz, all the documentation. It's been, for example, on that one I did MGT. Where did I do that? I think that one here. All right. I already have a few things that's been done on that one here. I can ask any forms of questions I want. And whenever you give me an evidence, you can see, it will tell me where he gets the information from, which I think is very powerful. And it only uses the material you provide. I find sometimes in ChatGPT, if you're not uploading your informations like you do, and you don't put the proper instructions, it can hallucinate, all right? And that's what has been said. But for us, we know what we're looking for. When you know what you're looking for, you know if it's rubbish, if it's hallucinations, or if it's actually something you can work with. That's been what I found interesting with this one here. It's very specific to the information you find, and you will basically giving you also a number behind it to see where it's coming from, which I think that's very interesting. Then you've got all that studio panel where you can have anything you can think of. I've got case study. I have a video set up in there. Maybe it works actually.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into the messy, high-stakes world of negotiation with a real-life case study. And trust me, this one has all the drama of a movie. You know, every deal starts somewhere, right? Usually with a piece of paper.
This one here is being generated by the Notebook LM, and it can be generated to your specifications for what you want to teach. What I found it interesting for us, when you have all your material, your sources on the left, you can select what you want to work from. When you're chatting and you get informations, you can put this one into the source of informations right here, and then you can actually click it and push it to, sorry, that's not a file I can use. You can put this one as a source afterwards. And if you do that, it pushes into that side, and then you can again generate anything from your studio part of it, which one is quite interesting. I think I'm doing this one more now than ChatGPT. I'm using the free version because I'm curious to see if it gives me better result, and it's actually even more accurate. With ChatGPT, I have to ask ChatGPT sometimes, not always, depending how you set it up, to actually look into your material and telling you which page or where did it come from. That way you've got the evidence. With the Notebook LM, it does that automatically, which one I think is more valuable in some respect, right? That's been, for example, what I've done for the presentations for today. Some of the things was actually generated directly from Notebook LM, and all the chat I've been having. And as you can see, if you put your mouse over, it'll show you where it gets the information from. And I think this is something you can basically authenticate before you're going to use it on informations, all right? And it goes stronger day by day. It's incredible what they've been doing on this one here. And when we do finance, is interesting things you can do in relations to that as well. Because personally, I understand Excel. I'm okay with Excel, but how good are we with Excel? It's been now with the AI, you can actually do some quite amazing stuff, and being able to show there's not limitations of your knowledge anymore. It's just about ideas you have and what platform you can use. And that can change things. Okay. And I think Notebook LM is very interesting for us in educations. That's mean I'm trying to share something I've been using recently or for a while now to see what is the benefit of it. Now also on the PowerPoint presentations I gave you, there is 2 PowerPoint presentations in there. Presentations. Give me 1 second. The second presentation is navigating AI in hospitality, introduce AI. Okay, this one here is another presentations I have, and I'm going to play this one as well, because it's available to you guys too. This one is, in our industry, how we can actually do things with the AI. Before I start this, I'm going to show you, you can customize to a certain extent. You can't do too much inside of the PowerPoint itself, but you can definitely edit the script. All right. Now, for example, if I find some students have difficulty understanding what we're talking about in the class for, in things in relations to their language, I could even have that translated in the language if I want to. All right. But let's have a look at this one because you have access to both of them. And again, you can chat and ask any questions.
Welcome to this session on the responsible integration of artificial intelligence in vocational hospitality training. We will focus on how to apply AI ethically and in alignment with NEST Dulles government requirements and ASCOE standards, particularly in areas such as kitchen operations, commercial cookery, and food and beverage. The objective is to ensure that trainers and assessors are prepared to navigate this landscape safely and in compliance, protecting both students and institutions. It is essential to understand that AI is not above the law. It must operate within national standards and state ethical guidelines. ASCA emphasizes that AI is a support tool, but the final decision always rests with the qualified assessor. In addition, 4 ethical pillars, human rights, data protection, human oversight, and public trust, underpin the permitted use of AI. The NS Show AI Assurance Framework requires community benefit, fairness, and clear accountability in all applications. Professional judgment is something AI cannot replace. Only a qualified assessor can decide whether a student is competent or not. Before using any AI tool, the trainer must evaluate its suitability for the specific task in the hospitality context. It is also mandatory to critically review all AI-generated material to avoid errors, bias, or incorrect information before it reaches learners. This reinforces the need for constant human oversight. The integrity of assessments is a regulatory priority of Australian Skills Quality Authority, ASCOE, particularly in light of the risk of AI being misused for academic misconduct. Clearly defining what constitutes misconduct, such as unauthorized use of AI, is essential. It is also important to redesign tasks to avoid those that can be easily replicated by AI tools and instead create assessments that require contextualized and specific knowledge, something AI cannot authentically reproduce. An effective strategy to combat the misuse of AI is to personalize each task to the student's real workplace environment. This makes fraud much harder and easier to detect. For example, require the learner to evaluate the cleaning schedule or the standard operating procedures specific to the commercial kitchen of their RTO. It is also recommended to require unique evidence, such as equipment serial numbers, photos of the mise en place, or invoices from local suppliers. The gold standard for assessment in hospitality is practical and oral verification, as these are methods that AI cannot falsify. Demonstrating skills in practice, such as plating dishes, using knives safely, and performing service sequences under real conditions, is essential. In addition, oral interviews help confirm authenticity by asking the learner to explain their reasoning, for example, in relation to costing or evaluating work health and safety risks. Ongoing assessment also helps identify suspicious variations in performance. The introduction of AI into hospitality environments brings real risks, not only digital but also physical and psychosocial. NSW's work health and safety legislation requires employers to identify and manage all foreseeable risks associated with new technologies, including AI. Among these risks are stress caused by surveillance and automated scheduling, increased work pace that may lead to accidents, and communication barriers that make safety consultation between managers and workers more difficult. To mitigate these risks, the use of an AIHS scorecard is essential. It promotes a proactive assessment across all stages of AI implementation, starting with ideation, where hazards are identified with the team, moving to development, which evaluates likelihood and consequences, and finally, application, which involves consulting workers and implementing controls. Active worker participation is a legal requirement, not just a courtesy, ensuring that potential failure scenarios are considered to prevent accidents. The protection of student data is a non-negotiable issue. Sensitive information must never be entered into unapproved AI platforms, because once shared, it cannot be retrieved. It is mandatory to remove all personal identifiers before using any generative AI tool, both by staff and by students. In addition, only systems endorsed by the RTO should be used, such as NSWE UChat or TAFE-approved platforms, and monitoring devices must not collect data beyond the defined scope. To conclude, it is important to remember that compliance is an ongoing commitment. While AI provides real support, the RTO and its trainers remain legally responsible for all training and assessment outcomes. Keeping clear records of AI use and human oversight measures is essential for audits by the Australian Skills Quality Authority, ASQA. Investing in professional development to strengthen AI literacy and regularly reviewing practices as regulations evolve are key steps. Innovation and compliance go hand in hand to protect students, staff, and the RTO's credentials.
I think that was the second PowerPoint presentation part of that AI stuff I'm providing. And of course, the thing is, another thing I just thought to say to you, you can play obviously and ask any questions to the AI, which I think is interesting, about whatever you like. You can play with it and have a look and give me your feedback, what you think as a trainer is in relations to that. Another thing I wanted to share with you before we finish is that one is pretty interesting as well. Let's say I want to generate a little bit more support for my students. Responding to every single email and etc. promptly is not an easy thing to do. This one here will generate a draft based on the questions is asking, and is going to use the information I provided already into that AI agent. And the only things you receive in your box is the draft. You check and say, yep, sounds good, I'm happy with it, boom, send it, or modify and then send it. It can save a lot of time. For admin maybe, I'm not sure how good it could be. I'm very about exploring how good it is for our industry and how helpful it can be for our students. And to conclude, I thought to share something we've done with together on Saturday with Robin. Just give me a second, just to take that off. That's going to interest probably more the chefs than the theory part of it. That is things we've been doing. And the interesting things we started from, that's the image we done on the top, which one I often said to the students, you done some great work. Are you a good photographer? No. Are you a good editor? No. Whenever the good stuff comes out, do you have the setup to take photos? No. That's been now what we've been playing is to actually bring, let's take that one here as an example. And on this one here, I can modify it obviously whatever I like. Give you an example of that, a dark gray.
One of our students, by the way, mastered submitting false documentation of his medical certificate, as well as that he was in a car accident overseas and his face was smashed up. And he used AI for that as well.
Look at
I
it.
even found a student putting the pictures, and then I find out we don't have that for a plate. Right? And when I told them, they said, yes, that's sorry.
It is.
Yeah, I said, just do the what we have. But you can edit it, but not completely.
Yeah.
I mean, on that demonstration, what I've done is to change the plate. Now I can go, for example, I'm going to go on the dessert itself. I like the ice cream, but I want to put chocolate. and now I'll change just that. I mean, what I find fascinating for us in the industry, as hospitality industry, it's an artistic environment, both landscape and what we're serving to our customers. That's been now learning on how to play with those things is quite amazing, because what I love about it is the fact you can basically do your work and it doesn't modify your work, it just modified what you ask. And originally the plate I had, it's not something I could use, I'm not happy with it. Or I can say I'd love to have this plate for that dessert, how would it look like on that plate?
And those colours, etc.
Exactly. And this one is amazing because you can modify absolutely a lot of things with it by passing your mouth over or by going to individual things.
Is this a notebook or?
No, that's rev.com. I should put this one on the because I'm on the when I'm at home and things like that, I'm a freak on deck, and I'm constantly watching anything to do with creativity.
Hang on, you got a better whiteboard marker, haven't you?
REV.com. Thank you so much for that. I find those tools very interesting because with Robert we've been playing a little bit, and also with James we've been playing a little bit with things like that, what is possible. And I think it's fascinating for us in this industry to start approaching on how we can use AI to bring our students to the next level of what is possible in hospitality. And when I sometimes with too much passion, but I said in operational, the AI can do amazing work. It's a lot of things in the industry we don't touch because we don't know how. I'm the number one. Excel, I say, no. I know a little bit, but I can't do this. I can't do that. Oh, I've got to study this and I've got to study that. And what I was saying is interesting with us, we're always limited by our knowledge until today. The knowledge is, you say, oh, I can't do that, and you stop there. But now we actually can push the boundaries of that with AI, because it's not about your knowledge anymore, it's what with ideas you have. What do I want to do? Now you can take a group of students and go any directions you want. Utilize AI. Things to do with any unit we deliver, dietary requirements, WHS, for example, all the form, all the things we need to do, digitize all of them. How can be handled in an operations to work successfully, checking temperature, digitize it, entering things digitally. Ask AI, how can I implement this one the most successful way and streamline the process and analyze my business by the sometimes. All that sort of things now is open to us, where before, if you were not in technology, forget about it. But now you don't have to be tech savvy, but technically involved to just to have to say to yourself, all right, let's chat and have a look where we can go, which I find very interesting. Is there any questions you may have?
No, it's.
We can't do anything anyway, we're not subscribed.
Sorry?
We can't do anything much anyway, we're not subscribed.
Yeah.
But you pay.
I mean, look,
It's free versions.
Notebook LM, I was surprised to see how far I could go with it.
And then the thing is, I'm not sure, this is just my opinion, I'm not sure if it's right or wrong. We have guideline from our squad that we need to, let's say from training.go.a, what is skill requirement, performance requirement. If we use ChatGPT to explore as much as we can to create equation, create a scenario, and everybody have their own scenarios, is that going to be compliance or not?
Look, that question is very interesting. That's why when I have my notebook LM, you can ask that questions directly to the platform. What you do, you say that I specifically instructed the AI to say, okay, I'd like you to be a compliant agent. And whenever I'm going to ask you anything to do with compliance, my main thing is about how can we use AI. That's what I've done as a demo for you.
Yeah.
I think it's good, for example, like say you've got a student that has a learning difficulty, and you need to contextualize, or you need to create create a list of verbal questioning for the student. As long as you've documented that that's what you're doing for that particular student, then it's compliant as a teaching perspective.
No, that means
But in
what I'm
terms
saying is we're using Moodle, right? We
Yeah.
have question and answer in Moodle for skill part and part. And then let's see, I'm asking about ask them to prepare a template. The templates come out. Am I using this template? And other teachers asking the same question but different outcome from the AI, and they're using this template and then using it. If we generate it for everyone, that could be
That's,
The
yeah,
standard.
yeah, in terms of collecting.
we have standard for everyone. We use this AI to generate good scenario for everyone to use.
Sure.
Not
Yeah.
everybody using it by
Correct.
themselves and
Correct, yeah.
using it and apply it and ask the students to do it and upload it.
But
No,
what,
you wouldn't be able to do that. Yes, you need to have the exact same consistent tool. But in terms of a learning tool, AI is great
Yeah, of course,
because
I
you
agree
can,
with that.
yeah.
100%.
but one thing I've been doing with my students, because I know by fact they are going to use it.
Yeah.
So when I said, when you've got a questions, I turn around and say, okay, did you understand question number 1? What did you understand? And it's right. I think it's all about connecting. And what I find it fascinating, and I did play with it, you can either open the chat, voice, or you can basically say, all right, I'd like you to put this one in this context. That context I understand. I'm from Switzerland, I speak French. English is okay, but all right, I'd like you to be a little bit more stronger. So you can really using that AI to be a very supportive platform
Yeah.
to describe it, and you can really connect. And after that, I said to my students, look, it is an open book assessment. Logically speaking, we can't really stop you using anything you're going to use.
Sure.
That is a fact. But what we're looking into it is the way they transcribe the information. And I think that's my personal opinion now, and it doesn't go any further than that. I think what is very important is to sell the idea to students to understand the concept of learning. He said now, finally, you have a very, very good help. You can actually understand what is going on. Do the paraphrasing, do the work the proper way. A lot of the things is coming on the screen and explaining things to you. Now you can use your own word to explain it. And be able to challenge the AI to go a little bit further with it. But I think it's quite interesting to be able to do that. And the response is definitely
Respect.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
And also you can find out by asking specific questions.
Yeah.
Then you can
We can, what I've done, sorry to interrupt, but
Oh, yes. Really
thank you for coming.
I'm so sorry.
What's your name, sir? I just lost one of
We've got
words.
a problem student.
Okay.
That's why she needs to finalise. So.
What wanted to say? Assessment. So sometimes anything is happening, we're talking about templates. Alright, we need to have a standard, of course. And I think assessment provides that as well. But what I find also good is to take a good template we've got, and let's say now you want to push it to something different. Example, bringing this one to a digital environment instead of being paper-based, because you want to have a point. You see, what I find, you can actually say to an AI to develop exactly the same look, but into a digital platform. That's to answer that kind of questions. Or if it's a student submits something, there is plagiarism software, but I think it's quite good to bring this one into an LM as an example to analyze the response and say, okay, based on that response, how much is generated by AI as an example, or I like that approach the ideas as to them. He said, how can I help you to paraphrase things in relation to what you've done? And he gives you interesting suggestions. Should say, promote the ideas to the students to personalize the answers using we do, I do, in context of. But you're not going to really implementing things in relation to their work environments.
And a lot of people does, like if you're gonna give a prompt to the AI, just write down as a human, it will work.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, you can agree. Sorry?
Yeah, I think generating content is the key. Like we have our assessment questions, say, create a budget. That's it, that's the question.
Yeah.
Right? We need a case study.
Yeah.
Right? It says do a role play. Right? Where's on what?
Yeah.
So by going with the negotiation one, that's perfect, because we have a subject where we have to negotiate with the supplier, and we're asking the students to go off and do a role play. You give them a bit of a case study, you know, you're a meat supplier, or you're this or you're that, then they have to go away and kind of try and, you role play a bit in class, but then they go away and work in groups and generate their discussion and
Yeah,
try and come up with fake answers pretending to be a supplier. But if you could get AI to do the questions about delivery, pricing, can you deliver on this, that puts them on the spot, bang.
Yeah, that's right.
You need to answer.
Yes.
Specific.
I actually did a test in a meeting. Choose top 5. I said to the guys who was in the meeting, I said, look, I'm going to do this. Are you okay with it? Yeah. They said, look, we want minutes. We want to know what action we can take, what things we're going to do next time we see each other. Let's do it. Let's have fun with it, all right? And I specifically said to the AI, I want you to listen, but you're there to give us some advice, etc. I said, it's just a motivation.